hottest month on record so far, dating
No
back.
wonder, with those days when we used to write love letters, we used to say, like snow coming down in June.
Like it would be impossible.
Absolutely, it would be impossible for me to leave you, like the snow coming down in June. Anyway, good morning, Modern. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing all right. I think my word is just patriotism, really. With everything happening across the country, you need to hold on to, you need to hold on to a little bit of something. I mean, everyone doesn't want to be accountable for when they are wrong. They are supposed to find them wrong are just giving a deaf ear. You just need to find yourself in this country, and that is probably what I'm doing, and I would encourage that viewers.
Or you need to find yourself out of this country.
Yeah, that is something. But you see, when you love your country, you will find 1 or 2 reasons to stay. That's me right now. I'm trying to find a few reasons to stay. Yeah.
Okay, morning, Robert. How are you?
Morning, Uncle Bob. It's a Friday. So I translate to Bob, and I live with the British Robert. I go to the American Bob. Otherwise, how have you been?
I'm all right. I'm all right. How are you, Robert?
Not very fine. I woke up to a shock
of
one of the prominent businessmen in this country. That is Honorable Apollo Anyenga Mehe, known as Aponye, having perished in a road accident overnight around Bahara Highway. It's very sad. He's been one of the prominent businessmen. Talk about Mega Standard, Ponye Mall, a fleet of buses, trucks. He's been so powerful in transportation industry. He's been a very, and I know we've lost so much because, you know, one person, if you look at how many people he has created employment for, just one individual, the number of jobs he has been able to put up in the bus industry, in the this truck transportation, all these buildings, you know, he's been a very big investor in this country, a local investor. So we've lost so much. But also coming in from Oyam, UPC takes that day over, that is NRM, that is, now we have Dr. Apio Eunice Otuko, who garnered most votes. Remember, yesterday there was some clip I saw between the UPC party president, Akena, and Tango Doi, the NRM electoral chairperson. Well, some very interesting, meant you want this, that. By the end of the day, UPC takes that day in this by-election. Remember, it was quite tricky because we had the son of the late in this election. And I think one of us asked, should we say that when someone dies, the son should take over or the daughter? I think this whole thing began with Kenny Luchamus when he didn't go back to parliament because of issues with the IG, you know, declaring his wealth. Then we saw that daughter come and take over. Then we began seeing a chain of MPs, more so during by-elections. It was like your child, if you have, must take over. We saw Serena Nebanda. The sister came and took over. It was a list of those who had taken over. And we would say the power of a sympathy vote. But I think for the people of Oyam, the power of a sympathy vote was not what they looked at most. So that is what we have briefly at a local scene that are making headlines. The death of Ponye, and also that is UPC taking that day when it comes to Oyam.
Awesome. And of course, also still yesterday, we got news broke the media when we also the appointment of the new Bank of Uganda governor, and that is Miss Josephine Okui Osia, who was before the vetting committee in Parliament, and definitely she will be our new Bank of Uganda governor. Isn't it great?
Yeah, it's great. It's something that has been, I think, waited for long. We're all wondering why we're still having notes that are signed by, you know, the late. But I guess this puts things into perspective. And if you look at the profile, I saw when they were sharing her profile, I think we're in good hands. I think we're in good hands. And, well, business can run much more normal at the Bank of Uganda. We hope so.
Well, what more news can you expect in Uganda than actually some of these beautiful stories? But of course, today is Friday. Maybe just to ask Robert, there's been this whole say, and a couple of people have gotten a wash of social media saying, still of course lots of conversations about this DNA. And one was saying, you don't be fooled. There's somebody who, just like it's always in Uganda, someone who wants actually to get some quick money, who's pushing all these agendas, who owns some of these private facilities, and probably they have kids that are about to expire, what and all this. But of course also, that being said, this thing again, there's someone who asked a question, and probably I want to put it to you guys before we get into our local stories. What's most important, carer or blood?
Just push it to the ladies, because they're the ones that are putting us in this situation.
Oh, are we? Because it is the men that are picking the kids to go test them.
Because the
instead
women,
of being comfortable, instead of being comfortable with your kids and sit, and if she says these are your kids, they are your kids. So what are you doing? But anyway,
kids are your kids by mouth anyway. Yes.
But anyway, I think it is more to being a father does not necessarily mean it's about the biological father. There's a lot that makes someone a father. If someone has cared for this kid up until they're old, I think they qualify to be called their father. And by the way, I'm one person who subscribes to adoption. So I think that blood is not just the only thing that should tie someone to be called your parent.
So care beats blood for you?
Yeah. Not bits, but I'm saying.
When it's there, no, and I get it in your context.
It's not an either or.
Trust me, I get it in your context. Yeah, not out of context. Yes, Rob.
First, I'll begin by saying children are a gift from God. But a gift is intended for somebody. If it is a gift for Felix, it's very wrong for me to take the gift that doesn't belong to me and then purport raising it. They're a gift from God, but if this is not your gift, then why? For me, I would go for care, because there are many people, fine, who have been raised, but when you know there's something we are missing out here. The deceitfulness is what is causing the problem. Felix, I know you care for children who are not yours. That I'm very sure I've seen it. I care for a child who is not mine. But I know this is not my child. This is not my daughter, much as I pay.
It's a choice you made.
It's a choice I made willingly. My sister cares. There are those who have been educated by well-wishers. Akana kagezi kucharo, and the guy takes over, even brings that child to Kampala. We've had stories of tycoons, MPs, prominent lawyers, doctors, that, this guy came and picked me, brought me into his home, adopted me. He knew what he was doing. We've had women who say that, maybe when I was giving birth, someone had abandoned this baby, I came with this baby. She knows she's looking after, the family knows. Now the challenge here is the deceitfulness. Men are not, let me be very honest, what hurts men in DNA are two things. It's not because they can't look after this child, because they have been looking after the child, isn't it? Even some take them to international schools as their own, so they have the ability to look after this child. But the deceitfulness of knowing that what I think is my gift from God and my partner is somebody else's gift or fruit of love is where the problem is. But not tetutidde buvunanyizibwa. Tubusobola naye obulimba obukirimu ti this is your child when this is not your child. That is the only problem. I know families where a woman has come and told their husband things didn't go well, and they sought them traditionally. They sought, they did, and it's kept, and it is a secret even between the two of them. But when someone discovers that they were lied, because cheating, adultery, these are things that we may live with forever and ever. Let's be very honest. But the problem comes, it's like when a man goes and fathers kids outside and comes and tells the woman, of course it's not good, it's a very bad thing, I condemn it. There will be some challenge at home, but they will later resolve it. And maybe even the lady may tell him, bring the child to stay with, so that they get to bond, they get to know. But it is also dangerous when a woman, the husband goes and has a family outside, and she only gets shocked when your corpse is there, and then they bring children that are of the same age or belong to another. Or she gets to know as she's moving there, your husband has a family there. You know how you feel. Like, this guy has been having children outside marriage, and I'm not aware of it. Now, you've not been having responsibility over these children. You're just not aware because he's been looking after them. Now, imagine the man you're telling, who is discovering that every day Chirabo Robert has not been his, but you kept it a secret.
Okay. Clearly, all of you know where Robert falls, and also mother.
But me, I will never go for a DNA test, to be honest. I can't take my only son for DNA.
You just gave like a 5-minute
Robert,
speech.
what's wrong with
I'm not strong enough.
Only to make one sentence that
PRO
is like, no,
the Minister of
forget what I
if you're
just said.
strong enough. Let's
What's
be
wrong
honest.
with this man now?
Felix, there are certain things I will not trouble before trouble troubles me.
You've just been saying the direct...
Almost
For those
5
that
minutes.
that feel they're strong enough, supposing I take my child to this government analytical lab, it's in Wandegea, and I have to travel back to Entebbe. I can even crash her. Supposing that, because when you go for DNA, negative.
You've been wanting to choke
God
that
help
belly
Robert.
off. Now you have a direct way of taking your stomach.
This I can die, because if I'm told it's not mine, I may not be able to live. So I can never.
Anyway, let's get into what's trending in the stories. Of course, we'll be looking at local stories and international stories, but we save that probably for much later. And you know, probably you can also share with us your true sense on whether or not this DNA thing is a scam or it's something, you know, this adaptation of European things and what. We've been living with this whole...
Traditionally, we used to do DNA also.
Yeah, of course, definitely. Definitely, but we have been living with this mixology in families. That's been our way of life. Just this DNA thing, trying to, and you see, millennials, I always tell you, for us when they gave birth, Senga Kebero, Gere, Amatu, and the smart Sengas, they would know. Even if they saw something, they would say, Felix, Chireke, Canon, they can't say, take back. I didn't ever hear of that scenario. Unless for the, but even if they noticed, they wouldn't cause mayhem. They could tell the husband.
And these fools of today, I'm sorry to say, you go on social media, put results,
torment young children.
Torment these young children, men.
Anyway, speaking about local stories and of course current affairs, we'll be looking at local stories and we're picking it up from our first story, Robert, which is...
We are going to Oyam, where there was a very hot, interesting by-election, where police arrested 2 people from Okwatwali sub-county in connection with vote bribery. Police said the suspects were part of the Uganda People's Congress, UPC supporters who were caught giving money to voters. Police spokesperson for North Choga, Okema Jimmy Patrick, said the 2 will be charged with voter bribery.
Parliament, the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperative, that is Geraldine Salim, has pronounced her position on the alleged irregularities in the procurement as being investigated by the Parliament Committee on Trade and Tourism. Now, Sally is behind the claims of misuse of about 10.8 billion supplementary budget, which was meant to rent offices for the Trade Ministry and purchase vehicles for the irrespective heads at the ministry. Now, it is alleged that about 400 million was used to transport documents from Farmers House in Kampala to Entebbe.
Okay, moving on. The State Minister for Lands has ordered the removal of Luwero RDC Richard Baye from the post for his involvement in land scandals in Luwero district. Dr. Sam Mayanja gave the order when he visited Kikandwa village, Kiswara in Kimari, Town Council, Luwero district, to resolve a land dispute between Chakulaga Patrick and Godfrey Tindiebwa, but the RDC refused to appear at the meeting.
Now, in an effort to ensure the sustainable conservation of valuable documents and knowledge for future generations, Makerere University organized a 2-day hybrid seminar on prevention, conservation, and disaster prevention of documentary heritage in Africa. Another event, which attracted participants from across the continent, aimed to promote the importance of preserving historical artifacts and records.
Now, crossing over onto our international news, Twitter is considering legal action against Meta over its fast-growing rival app, Threads. Now, Threads, which was launched to millions on Wednesday, is similar to Twitter and has been pitched by the Meta bosses as a friendly alternative. Twitter's Elon Musk said competition is fine, cheating is not. But Meta denied claims in a legal letter that ex-Twitter staff helped create Threads. More than 30 million people have signed up for the new app, according to Meta. The look and feel of Threads is similar to Twitter, BBC News technology reporter James Clayton noted. He said the news feeds and the reposting were incredibly familiar. And shortly after arriving in the Chinese capital, Yellen said she was glad to be in Beijing and looked forward to advancing President Joe Biden's goal of deepening communication between economically linked but increasingly adversary countries. We seek a healthy economic competition that benefits American workers and firms and to collaborate on global challenges, Yellen wrote on Twitter. We will take action to protect our national security when needed, and this trip represents an opportunity to communicate and avoid miscommunication or misunderstanding. Now in Spain, at least 951 people, including 49 children, have died while trying to reach Spain by sea in the first 6 months of 2023, according to a monitoring group. In a report released on Thursday, Caminando Fronteras Walking Borders said the people lost at sea hailed from 14 countries: Algeria, Cameroon, Comoros, Democratic Republic of Congo, Ethiopia, Guinea, Ivory Coast, Mali, Morocco, Gambia, Senegal, Sri Lanka, Sudan, Syria, and the Gambia. On average, 5 people lost their lives every day in the first half of the year, along 4 different routes: the Canary Island route and the Alboran Sea route, the Algerian route, and the Strait of Gibraltar route. Now in climate news, as a warming Earth simmered into worrisome new territory this week, scientists said the unofficial records being set for average planetary temperatures were a clear sign of how pollutants released by humans are warming the environment. But the heat is also just one way that the planet is telling us something is gravely wrong. They said, heat set the pace of our climate in so many years. It's never just the heat, Kim Hope, a climate scientist at Brown University, told the Associated Press news agency. Dying coral reefs, more intense oysters, and also wildfire smokes that have choked much of North America this year are among the many signals of climate distress.
Well, clearly, whether there's much for us, by the way, to discuss, and lately it's been a discourse. I remember I saw there was a Paris something that happened, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, that was in attendance of a couple of leaders. I saw William Ruto addressing the youth that had turned up. I don't know what event it was, but it was somewhere in Paris. I think it was a sideline discussion on climate. But of course, and in his own statements, he said that the mantle for climate change now lies with the youth.
Yeah.
How you do it, what you do, and exactly what you intend to become is determined by the kind of environment you keep. So there's much for us to start. I think we should start opening up these discussions without fear. Yeah. However, they should be steered by governments and relevant authorities, which we're not doing enough in Uganda, clearly, in my opinion.
Climate issues or climate change, that should be on a political agenda. everywhere. Every country
yeah,
should
it should
be
be at the
doing
forefront of every
Yeah.
political discussion, socio-economic for that matter. But nevertheless, we have more than for us to put it forward, and Gerech will be putting it much, much forward later.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll also be having a couple of breakdown in music. But what kind of music do you like again?
Bob.
Bongo?
I'm like, Bob might have a better.
Oh, Bob, what kind of music do you love?
Oh, now you've said it well. I love old slow music, the old classics.
Like which ones?
Well, okay, I'll just mention songs by Boys to Men, Westlife,
At least mention a song.
Queen of My Heart,
Queen of My Heart, that's Westlife.
Westlife.
Boys to Men, there's a song called Mama.
Mama, you know.
What
That's
are-
old.
but-
I'm not the likes of Celine Dion.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Huh?
Those are all classical.
Old classic. When you give me that, when I'm driving and what is playing in the car, I'm
NSYNC.
relaxed. Oh, you're doing me justice.
Oh, Jagged Edge.
I'm so relaxed.
Genuine.
You know, and the good thing is that music will take you. But also, I enjoy Kadongo Kambu.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I like music where I can listen and pick the message properly. And the meaningful music. I'm not so much of what I see late. Kwe picha, you know, chiwani, what. I don't succumb to
But what's wrong with Kwe Picha? Kwe Picha is a good
I
song.
want music that I can understand what you, because
It's a
that
song I can dance to from night
for
to
example,
morning.
Queen of My Heart, you know, Mama, you know, these are, even one by Elton John, I think it was after Princess Diana, you know.
Candles
Candle
burn
in the-
out long
Yes,
before.
that music you can understand, get the meaning, for even takes you somewhere and you begin creating, you know.
Okay.
But
The-
when
the-
funny things, yeah, you don't understand.
but it's good for them. The generations have changed, Robert. Mullen, any particular relationship with music, like you like this particular type of music?
Yeah, I actually like country music. I like country music. Yes.
Any
I
favorites?
could go secular. Now, unfortunately, this one country song I like, not in Uganda, a song that was done by Justin Bieber and with collaboration with Dan and Shay, 10,000 Hours. That song up until now is my best country song.
Really?
Yes.
But it's just
Quite
a
a good
recent production, by the way. So it's not that old. But
I'm also
I'll tell-
not that
I'll tell you-
old.
I know. Yeah. When you talk about country music, my mind goes back to the likes of Dolly Parton, Jim Reeves. You know,
Yes,
The-
music
like for
with a
example,
meaning.
there's a song called "Divorce" by Dolly Parton. Oh my God. There's one called "Jolly."
Mm,
Yeah,
yes.
they
You
do.
know,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
there's one by. There's quite a number.
Yeah.
And I accept all of you. I love slow music and I love
I also like
also country music.
but usually, yeah.
Anyway, because we love music, Good Morning Uganda loves music, we'll be giving you some music as well. We're having a performing artist much later coming in to also give us some good vibes. The gentleman is a songwriter, he's also a musician. I can't just break the ice now. We'll wait when he comes on set. We'll be having a discussion of who he is, what he does, and where he does it. But for now, let's take a break. We'll be back shortly.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
If I'm looking at issues of taxation and all that, I will definitely run for the Kateshumbas. Okay?
Okay.
If I look at, if I'm looking at issues of investments and what, I would definitely run. I would definitely run for Dr. Emure Kugonza and Omara, Honorable Omara. Okay. If I'm looking at issues of the law, I will run for our very, very own people. I have the Oboso bosses, I have the Katuntus, I have the Robin Arwakojos. So everyone is talented in one way or another.
Did you mention Katuntu?
Okay? Yes.
Is he yours?
Yes, he is.
Yours as in NRM?
He is.
Was brought to you by Gatawo with MTN Momo Advance. Momo Advance tops up your Momo to complete your transactions. Dial star 165 star 5 star 3 hash to apply. MTN Momo Advance is always available when you need it.
Previously, in most of these areas that we had prioritized, farmers would produce, but you don't access market because the roads are not there. So you have the middlemen that would have access, and they persevere to go into those deep in the villages, and they buy with their own prices. They can go there and set prices for you, and yet you're the ones who have produced this food. But now this time with the market linkages, people can now access market, because we have bridges that were, streams that were bottlenecks to access by the farmers. It has constructed bridges, so farmers can now reach market.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift, buy or gift.
Get freaky too. Dial *100*0# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100*0#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100*0# to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the Parish Development Model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The Parish Development Model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift, buy or gift.
Get freaky too. Dial *100*0# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100*0#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100*0# to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Road traffic crashes is one of the leading causes of death among young people aged 5 and 29 years. In 2022, Uganda registered 21,473 crashes, out of which 4,534 people died and 15,227 seriously injured. 22 people die every 100 crashes, and on average, we lose 12 people daily. Legacy Road Safety Initiative, in partnership with KCCA, Ministry of Works and Transport, Ministry of Health, Uganda Police Force, Red Cross, Rosaku, Boda Boda Industry Uganda, have organized the second Road Safety Marathon for the crash victims to help create awareness, build cohesion among stakeholders. Train first responders will take place on the 23rd of July 2023, starting at 7 a.m. from Nakasero Primary School grounds. Book your kits at 25,000 from Legacy Road Safety Initiative offices located at Old Kampala Chicken House, 2nd floor, room 18, or 8th Street, Safeway, Rightway offices, Total Energies, Ovino Mall, Boda Boda Industry Uganda, or visit www.lrs-initiative.org to register. Call 0752-605-479 or 0776-598-817 or 0414-698-675. Proudly powered by Daxi Driving School and Wava Water. Run to save a limb.
That's right. Insist on getting your e-receipt. It's your ticket to fantastic prizes, including motorbikes, laptops, fridges, and a fully paid 6-day safari for 2 in Uganda. Take a picture of your e-receipt, upload it to the URA website or mobile app, and you could be the lucky winner. The more receipts you upload, the higher your chances of winning. Terms and conditions apply. More details on our social media channels.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Morning once again. Now we did promise, and we're definitely keeping up our promise to give you a little bit of music on this beautiful Friday while we do celebrate a special edition. Now what's special today is somebody who does music, who writes music, and also does sing that music. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
How are
It's
you?
good to have you.
Thank you so much.
I love your haircut, man. I wish I had hair.
Yeah.
It would have been much better, but the plans of God are quite different. Clearly. How have you been?
I've been good.
Your name is hard to mention. I don't know what's the trick. If you're trying to be underground, you're trying to be like, it's better you say it yourself.
Yeah, Jiran. Jiran Sain. That's me, that's my name.
Awesome.
Sain comes from Sentongo.
Oh.
Yeah.
How does Sentongo become? Seriously.
And actually, Jiran is also my real name.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. In Kiswahili, it means neighbor.
Neighbor.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you also speak Kiswahili?
No, I don't.
Oh.
I just
you only know that's what it means in Swahili. Probably a friend of yours.
I happen to have the name because I'm a Muslim, and it's also a Muslim name.
Ooh.
So yeah.
And today is Friday.
Exactly. I can't wait for Juma.
Surely, I love that. I love that. Anyway, so what do you do? Just briefly before we get into the performance. You do music, you write music, you sing music, you play music. If I have it right.
Yeah.
Great. How many songs have you done so far?
I have an EP out.
Mm-hmm.
I recently released it in April. Towards the end, 28th. So it's almost like 2 months and a few weeks old.
Still a baby.
And it has about 7 songs on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my baby EP.
Yeah. My
debut EP.
Oh.
So yeah.
Okay. So what are you going to be doing for us in the now?
Right now, what I'm gonna do a few songs of the EP, but I'm gonna start with Kupatana.
Kupatana.
Yeah, Kupatana is a simple song. It's a simple love song. It's just like make someone your partner. Make them your lover, make them your friend, your...
Why are you guys thinking about love?
Yeah.
All the time. Like, what's with this thing called love, man? There's weather to sing about.
Exactly.
I'll just say it anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, I can't wait to listen to that beautiful vibe.
Yeah.
I trust. I've had a bit of the music, so I know what it comes with. And of course, our viewers out there, I can't wait to let you enjoy the beautiful sounds of Jiran Sain. Awesome. I'll let you guys enjoy the music.
Thank you.
Imagination obufaananyi mbukubira wona embooza bambi bwemba ngambapye okukwesonta it's your decision mukwano osobola okunyiga omanyi nti nkwagala naye omukwano mubaamu emitendera sisobola kubuuka madala wadde nga nandiyagadde okukupatana nga tulira wamu ku sowani mukayumba galangi ya kurimu oba tojagala onalonda okupatana engeri gyontunuulira muno mu maaso efumita mutima gwange mukwano bwe nzijukira kale olunaku lwe nakulaba kale amasanyu ge nafuna ge gano golaba mu maaso nga nkuyimbira kayimba saba nkukwateko bawo omuji wato beebi yoba ku mukono bw'oba olina ensonyi mukwano kaŋŋume pagala olikiriza nze kino kye njagadde okukupatana katulira wamu ku sowani mu kayimba ka langi ya kurimu bw'oba tujagala olonalonda okupatana onsula mu kifuba ng'omudali olwo nkusiige ka langi mu kifaananyi bambiramba nti onalonda okupatana mukwano mubaamu emitendera sisobola kubuuka madala wadde nga nandiyagadde okukupatana mukwano mubaamu emitendera sisobola kubuuka madala wadde nga nandiyagadde okukupatana okupatana na 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 okupatana.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or gift.
Get freaky too! Dial *100*0# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100*0#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100*0# to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Uganda is rich in natural resources and hard-working people. But to turn these resources into real progress and development, we need to invest in our infrastructure, education, and health care. That's where taxes come in. When we pay our taxes, we are investing in our country's future. We are supporting the schools that educate our children, the hospitals that care for our families, and the roads and bridges that connect our communities.
And when businesses pay their taxes, they are contributing to the growth and development of Uganda's economy. They are helping to build a stronger, more prosperous nation for us all.
So when you pay your taxes, you are investing in the future of Uganda and supporting the progress and development of our nation. Uganda is because of you.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
This is our family's pride.
This is my friend.
This is the future of our nation.
She is the future of Uganda, and the policies I enact today will protect her from teenage pregnancy.
She is the hope of our community, and I will talk to others about how we must protect her.
She is our family's pride, and I will protect her from child marriage and talk to her about the dangers of teenage pregnancy. We each have a role in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from child marriage and pregnancy, because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Their support meant so much to me. I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sauti 116.
These days, our homes are no longer just the places we live. It's where we attend meetings, go to class, keep each other safe, and entertain ourselves. To do this smoothly, you need a reliable internet connection. Buy the MTN WakaNet router, which connects up to 32 devices and gets a free 40 GB data bundle at only 149,000 shillings. Or buy the MTN WakaNet MiFi at only 75,000 shillings and enjoy a free 15 GB bundle to stream, study, work, and play on the go. Visit any MTN service center to buy the MTN WakaNet router or MiFi and enjoy the internet that does amazing things.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, good morning. Thank you so much for keeping with us on Good Morning Uganda Friday Now special edition. We do take some time to discuss another matter of national importance, definitely, of course, relating to not those that you normally hear every Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, Thursday, where you want to talk about politics, the by-elections, you want to talk about campaigns and all this, for lack of a better word, the hig and hug of daily livelihood. But today I want to turn a little bit down and look at something to do with family. Yesterday, media was awash by another story where we saw an attempted murder of an infant, I should call them. Now, there's a young man who was beaten well by a teacher in one school that we won't mention. And when he was beaten well, what the teacher called punishing, this young man went home. I think he slept overnight, thinking what he could do to retaliate the pain. He bought his good maize, he roasted it, and bought poison as well. He put the poison on the maize and took this gift to the teacher. I don't know, probably by the grace of God or the existence of the Holy Spirit, the teacher was thinking, this man I beat yesterday is giving me maize as a way to thank me or what. So the guy didn't eat the maize. But to go on and taste the maize, actually it was poisoned maize. Now, it may sound a little bit funny, but it's scary in its own sense. That is like, what kind of kids are we raising? Now this kid was arrested and definitely there's a charge of attempted murder. The discussion for us, we pick to discuss something to do with punishment, both at homes and in schools. Many a times still on these medias we do have both paper, printed, and even TV or radio. We have heard of stories. Parents have broken legs of kids. Others have burnt them with jerry can drops of burnt plastic. All these other punishments. Some kids have died because of punishing. But also we have parents who don't bother to punish their kids. Or something called chastisement, to chastise their children. And they turn out to be a problem to society. So we're dealing with sort of like a double-edged sword. It's a situation of a hard place and a rock. It's a carrot or stick. And that's what I want us to discuss. And you can be able to share with us your true sense in relating to punishing of children. Is it relevant? Should it be done? If it should be done, up to what point? Who should punish? Where should be one punished, and how should we punish children? I'll start with Robert here. Robert, do you believe in punishing a child?
Definitely.
And qualify that by what is punishment in your own understanding. You don't have to give us the general, but your own understanding.
For me, punishment is causing this child to regret why they did what you punished them for.
That's so
and
extreme,
also,
Robert.
No.
The regret?
And also creating either fear not to do that again because of the repercussions. why we punish.
Robert, you
Why
are so extreme.
No. Why I would punish? Yes, I want that child to understand what I did was wrong, and also to know that in case I do it, there are repercussions. So let me not do this again. But you see, there is one important factor that we are missing out, is the family unit and how we treasure or look at family. Felix, you've always been a very good ambassador on this show in creating awareness that before people get together, they must think clearly and know that it's not all about the lavish wedding you're going to do. It's not all about...
I'm actually against those, just to be on record.
Yes, it's not all about the bright skin, the bummy cheek,
The what?
the bright woman, the bummy, the curvy and all that. It's not all about the money.
What do you mean?
But it is more to that, that you're entering a commitment or into this relationship and you're prepared for what you're going in. Now, today, the structure of the unit called family is dead in most homes in Uganda. Either married, cohabiting.
What's a family, Robert?
Well, aren't we talking about punishment and
children
definitely.
Yes,
and all that and
but
schools?
you see, it all comes to, I'm trying to show where was the teacher brought up from, what kind of family, where is this child, you know? If you dig deep to find out, I don't know, man, what teacher would Avamu, you know, nowadays, Avamu family. Let's understand.
Like who's paying attention to this?
Who is paying attention to this?
Because all this, you know, in crime, there's something called premeditation.
Yes. You may find, you know, why? By the time this child thinks, let me buy this, let me do this.
Where did they get the poison for starters?
What if he's coming from a family where the mother said, we've had parents say
No,
this.
you're right, and I'm with you 100%.
You get it? And for us, we look at the offense and this little child.
The background.
Not the background. So that's why I began with family. There are things many of us cannot do because of family, even when you've grown up. From Rubowa family. That can never be. That Felix. No, I'm just, you know.
I didn't see that coming, honestly.
That you can't find me. You can't find me. That I'm owning a prominent
That's so
bar.
extreme. That's so extreme.
By the time you get to that.
So, I'm trying to show you that because even more time we see them on TV, radio.
So I can tell you my experience when I tried to get born again. If you were the day I tried to get born again, it was like hell broke loose of me. And some guy had convinced me at school very well. So I went home starting to sing those
That is what I call the power of family. That even if the only business on earth remaining is a bar, I can't. But it's profitable. I've even wanted to partner with a friend and I remembered and I'll be a family reject. So, if we don't understand the unit called family and the power it has, then we shall begin treating a disease, but when you're not looking at the cause. No matter how much you inject this child with various, and you're changing feeding, you don't get
the problem is what they're actually eating.
It's what they're eating.
Now, Robert, just around the same thing. Can I let's just also try to bring in Molin on something quite similar. Molin probably didn't seem to lay well with the issue of family, the background that you are giving. But Molin, who is
the background of that? Because when you say who is responsible as a baby, right from the baby stage, that's absolutely the parents.
Yeah.
And then this baby grows up to 5 years, still the parents. But now you're bringing in you're taking this child to school, to kindergarten. That means you're now bringing in responsibility.
Sharing.
Sharing that responsibility.
Right.
So as the child grows, there are a lot of people that are now impacting their behavior,
That's
their
very
character, and who they become.
Very
so
true.
ultimately, yes, it starts from you as a parent, but we also have to acknowledge that we've gotten to levels now where the parenthood is actually given less time in when you bring in education, because kids seem to actually spend more time in schools than they do at home for holidays. So that creates a gap, that you have all these multiple people that are impacting your child's behavior. And right on what you were talking about earlier on, the forms of punishment, how we are seeing erratic behaviors from students after, a punishment. This is something that we should be focusing on and look at as a very huge problem. There's some time back I was watching a documentary based on behaviors that we were analyzing for juveniles who were involved in murder acts. And the documentary was, I think, called The Traits of Murder. According to most of the stories they were analyzing, some of these kids that have ended up with, cases of murder have had traits right from childhood. A child is always these kids that erratically deal with stuff. You punish them, and then in turn, they actually...
response to
they have always bad response.
Yeah.
So the moment we do not pay attention to that, we are letting the problem grow. And I think this is where I want to, again, hand this responsibility to schools.
Is that biological? Is it a genetic problem? Because
it's probably, I think most of that is linked, but I don't have scientific information on how that is linked. But what I know is that most of these characters grow at a tender age. So what schools are doing is that they just think this is just a bad child. And this is where the punishment needs to be studied first. Because when you have a very stubborn kid, always around the place, he's the one involved in trouble, you need to take time and study this particular person. Now, which is why recently, Robert did say that he believes in punishment, but recently you need to understand that the traditional punishment is not the ultimate way of solving the child's problem if they are having erratic behaviors. Because the moment you go to punish them, the moment you're beating them up, psychologically you're creating more trauma for them.
And resilience.
So the way they act that stress is going to be even a bigger problem. And I think that's why you're seeing cases like that. In cases around the world where a student was punished severely and they end up burning the entire school, or they end up, torturing the teacher's family. They go out to extreme stuff. So I think we need to be focusing on individually how do we deal with students that are not cooperative, that are stubborn, that are having erratic behaviors. And that is, again, we have had schools in the past where the moment you do something wrong, they call in your parents. And that is always, after you've done several. But I think that this should be a first step. You realize that this student is constantly involved in stuff. Before you even think about beating them up, invite their parents and make sure that you're able to sit with them and understand, why is this child behaving the way they're behaving? You also see schools that just suspend a student back to the parent, and then after some days they expect this child back, but there is no interaction between the parent and the teachers, or particularly administration of that school, to understand. Because while we talk about who shapes the behavior, you need to understand that even the fear that these kids are creating for their parents is probably because their parents are also beating them up at home. So this is a child who is traumatized right from home, because we know that there is also domestic violence when it comes to children. He now finds refuge in school because he knows, now I'm away from home, no one is going to beat me up. And then in the same school, he also finds a teacher who is beating him. Not to mention that there are also erratic teachers who just resort to beating whenever there is a problem. So the child finds themselves in a situation where they have nowhere to run to, and they have now given up. That's why they end up doing extreme stuff. So I think there needs to be that personal understanding right from the beginning. And over time, we've always talked about counseling in schools. These are still the same characters, same personalities that need guidance, that need counseling. Because when someone is below 18, I want to believe that they really don't know what life is all about. They need shaping, and you punishing them to the extremes might not be helping. So we also need to revamp the whole counseling sessions in schools, individually. We also have this whole peer pressure that comes in. Once you have an erratic child, you want to isolate them in terms of making sure the behavior is not spreading. Because usually these are like the big boys in school, so they have a whole group around them. So you want to make sure that they are not influencing other students. But how do you do that? Make sure you isolate them in terms of shaping that character, in terms of counseling, bring their parents in, and as an administration, talk to the child. But when you leave them, just punish them, and then they go back, even when you beat them up, they go back and like, yeah, but I'm okay, I'm fine. So you're increasing on their pride. So I think that there needs to be a lot to do with bringing in parents and teachers at the same time.
Well, clearly it's Mullen tried to give it shape looking at all players. It's not just, and Robert did bring out the picture of family, and Mullen now tries to bring in other players that in as much as family has its responsibility, she adds to it, and like, because these kids go out at a certain level, they spend more time with other people, probably they make new friends who tell them different things. There's this whole thing called exposure. Now, the other question probably now we should look into, just the three of us, is how do we consolidate all this to make sense? Because at the end of the day, this child doesn't belong to the school. Maybe she's there or he's there for 2 or 3 years. Doesn't belong to the society. Everything else that's done to this kid or the kid does comes back to the family. In as much as the exposure is shared. For example, our kids are taken to boarding schools, and when the kid comes back, they're homosexuals because they met a friend from, you know these things. The kid comes back saying very funny things. You know, a kid who went to school very humble, simple, holy, like you don't know this kid anymore. And then they tell you, no, my friend Robert, for them he told me at their home they do this. At their home they do this. I have a scenario, I talk about it many times with my friends. A very good friend of mine, a mother of, came to me saying, my child has insulted me. A 9-year-old abused the mother, saying, Mommy, you're stupid. What would you do in that scenario, Robert? You don't have to you don't have to beat me. It's like you want to jump on me. Yeah. I ask in case let's just, and these are some of the things we are dealing with as parents. Your kid comes home and they say, Daddy, don't say that to me, you're stupid.
Well, I want to first begin with a very important statement that Felix, you made. You said that it all comes back.
It definitely comes back to the family.
That is a very important statement, and anyone watching us must
just for clarity, there's no kid called Namidyango.
No.
Even if you study there, you still called Chibidango.
Let me tell you.
Why? Because that's probably the family you come from.
A child or any human being goes through these stages. The first is home and family. We are even told that while some, these scientists, the Mollens or but whatever, that even when the child is in the still in the mother's womb, gets to know the voices.
No, it's true. It's very true.
Guess what? This is
you
Daddy
should know this,
speaking.
Robert. You're a father.
This is Mommy speaking.
I mean, how would they
this is kind of cognitive as well.
That environment, the child will even know that I'm coming in a violent family. Because Mommy is beaten, crying, but carrying this child. So it goes back to the power of family. Now, when this child is born, the love, the language, home, everything the child is learning. And you see, this first school in a child's life matters more than what else they are going to find.
First
so
school
out there,
home
as the first school. The first school is home. Education experts will tell you, family, that is when the child will know that here ladies kneel when they are greeting, the boys stand. That's why for us, Bachiga, anyone you don't kneel, that's when they will know. All bad habits, that's when they will start, when they go out to play. I'm Daddy, the child comes staggering. Because the father comes back when he's what? drunk.
The image of dad is someone staggering.
Someone staggering. I was recently, someone was given homework at home and asked animals that move at night, mentioned bat, rats, and daddy.
She wasn't lying.
Animals that move. But how do you mention it, daddy?
But I think I know the person who said that.
So, so what happened?
It could have been
I'm trying to show that this first school, if it is violence, the first school, Molen mentioned something that some of these children even violate when they are young. I ever witnessed a certain child, everything wants to do what?
To kill.
To kill. This person, you see a cat, you know cats.
There's that photo on social media. When a kid is strangling a dog.
The kid wants to kill the cat.
All kids are running away from pets.
Yes, when playing with this. So what did the parents do? They noticed there's a problem with this child. And as a family, they worked towards that. Come, these are animals, God created them, this child must not miss Sunday school. The family worked on this that was cropping up. Because like she said that documentary, that's the likes of Alinaitwes of this world. These people have, so if family does not notice, you know, how do we begin toning down? Now we go to community, the people the child plays with. That's why some families, for us, we grew up, the children aren't allowed to play with. And I know Felix and everyone watching us. The girls, as you go to adolescence, Molen will tell you maybe they are friends that your mother never wanted you to have, isn't it? She'll tell you those daughters, so-and-so's daughters, do not. Society comes in. Now, society becomes the second school before you go to this elementary education. So, how do you protect? I know my friend is called Felix Sinkunda. One time I was telling him to do something for the children. My children. The guy refused much as I convinced him. But later I saw he had a right sense and I also took his direction. The family, still you have grip on even what, when the child comes back, do you have time? You get it? So the father, the mother, you hear that? You say, no, they will arrest you. That is evil. That is bad. We condemn it. So-and-so's mother said, they don't say that. They don't. The father, there is toxic. A lot of that this child is getting out there. The mother, the family, what are you doing to detoxify this? We go to school. School you may not have so much. But if you're an interested parent, I used to see parents come to visitations. And they've said you go, you see the teachers, they snatch and fees. You get it? Why should I go? Why should I go? Haven't I seen you?
That's a very good point.
Haven't I seen you? You okay? But they said
and
go to the
staff. Have their pains they are keeping.
Yes, maybe that child wants to tell you, but when you look at this, talk to him. In this holiday, I've seen parents who drop and pick. But they have never bothered to go and find out that what is happening with my child. I have a life story. When I was in Nakasero Primary, I liked dogs so much. So we had stray dogs. You know, every school there's Posho, Beans, those dogs that used to come around. So one day, a dog gave birth to some puppies. I had a teacher called Mr. Serwaniko. It was around his home. So I go, I asked him. He said, if your father allows, take the puppy. I said, if I ask daddy, daddy will not allow. So that time I left home. I tactfully refused to carry my containers, bottles, because they used to pack for us and give you some bit of money. So in the evening, I got this puppy, put it in my bag. Now when my father drove, picked me, the puppy behaved. It was first quiet. As we were about to reach home, I asked Bob, what is that? Said that dog, OGJ at school. The man made a U-turn, back to school. Where? Took me to the teacher. The teacher was still around and said, yes. The boy came and asked me, these are stray dogs, and if your father, my father said, okay. He asked. You get that? He drove. We went home in peace. I received my bit of beating for bringing a puppy home, but he had nothing to do because it was already home. So my lovely dog grew, and later they all began liking it. how are you connected with the teachers? Do you simply get that enters, drop your child, they want money. You, as a serious parent, there must be connection. Parents, some parents have never attended PTAs, anything at school. They come to your big brother, you go. Some even send friends because you need to sign. How are you interested in school affairs?
Yeah, and
teachers have a lot of mugambo. For them, they are willing to tell your father.
No, and I appreciate that contribution, Robert. Honestly and truly, I think in relationship to our discussion, we must agree that parents' engagement is key with the people who spend any time. Yes. We can't say much time, but any time with our kids. Well, even it's the neighbors.
Yeah.
Like, for example, you live in a community. Most times now people are living in apartments, big communal fences, like 4, 5, 10 families. There's nothing wrong with once in a while interacting. Your kids are playing with my kids. How do you find Molen? Because these are toddlers, maybe 4 or 5 years. How do you find Molen? Molen wajawa no like yeah, she does this, she does this. Then, because that is actually parenting. Parenting is not about school fees, but the babies. No, because all those you will do. A friend of mine, a doctor friend of mine, a neighbor of my home somewhere in Chitezi, told me, you know, it's useless to work so hard if I don't groom these boys. Talking about it, and for me it meant a lot of sense. He says, even if I go and make a lot of money, if I don't prepare these boys, because the ones actually he said the ones who are going to take care of me. Now, if I don't put them, they won't take. You've seen these people are beating their parents, throwing them off lands, and those are the things. Let's pay attention. And what I pick from what Robert said, like, it's important to pay attention. How do you pay attention?
You have your child in a school for 4 years.
You don't even
As
know.
a parent, you've never stepped in that school.
Honestly.
The child goes to A level. As a parent, you've never stepped to that school.
You don't even know any of the teachers teaching the child.
And you have no connection.
Let me tell you something, guys, and this is so true, and it's sad and painful. You know, there's something as parents, I think, we have been deceived that providing is a way of care. It could be. Clearly it could be. And you've had many men say, Kasta,
Teacher Sibawa, I offer everything. What do you
and that's the reason for their punishing people. That's why you hear these things of DNA. Everyone's talking about, even took them international school. So what? For them, they attach like it's men being men. If it's about their pocket, it's the most important thing. But I think we are forgetting the other underlining.
Because this particular case we are talking about today, let me just give you areas I look at why it happened. Because I was trying to say, why did it happen? One, if it's not the family, if you investigate that family where this child is coming from, it could be a broken family. Either the mother is something else, the father is something else. If it's a family that is totally brought together, let's look at its location and what composes of this family.
Location.
What composes? I've seen a mother.
Location, Robert.
Yeah,
Maybe the parenting behavior, but
Felix
not
knows
location.
What I mean.
No, I really understand.
Location. He knows what I mean.
Yeah, actually, so like going to say the environment matters.
I thought you meant
you know,
so.
let me give you an example. I remember in Rubaga Boys, I used to have my uncles. Now, there's a teacher one time who really beat one of my uncles, and now he's late. He's sorry, Alex. He was beat very well. Now, when he came back, he was crying. I remember seeing him. As you can imagine, a big man. Now, what his brothers did, like, Anya Kubi, and Ingo, Kali. Taita Mabanda Wali, okay. So, like 5 of them, they caned the teacher. They caned the teacher. But also, Robert, because we have spent a lot of time, but let's also look at the punishments. I think,
but guys, before you head there, there's also one point I wanted to bring in here if we're talking about behavior. The digital world. We have exposed our kids to this whole internet era. And I know of parents that make sure every kid in the home has an access to a tab. Are you really paying attention to what these kids are watching? Some of these kids are watching Prison Break. They're watching crime scene investigation stuff. They are learning exactly how to get away with murder, stuff like that. You don't know that a child is actually watching the right content. So I think we also need to tone down. And as we talk about these high-end families, because they are the ones that easily have access to give almost every child a phone or a tab. So they are watching things off the internet that is also affecting their behavior. So maybe we might also need to pay attention there. Make sure that you have the right channels. And I've seen one incident, like with Netflix. You do have your account as an adult, but also the kids' account. They actually know how to switch back to the adult account. So you might need to put a lot of restrictions there, or even emphasize and then pay attention when they are watching, at least, you know, once in a while listen in. Are they really watching the cartoons that you think they are watching? Or they are actually watching a series of How to Get Away with Murder? Well, that is something that
yeah,
you
and
can
it makes sense. I think that has been said time and again. We need to be in charge of the content that, even TV, you find some, and now there are also violent cartoons. I normally sit down and watch my CCBB Nico, and I'm looking at, there's someone with a sword, and this is cartoon.
So they are learning the skills of how to swing.
All this, so I think content is key. But our time is for this discussion is sort of like running out, and just if you could in 1 minute and just with you could just conclude with also punishing. Sometimes teachers go to the extreme. I have seen this.
Most times.
Actually, most times. I personally have been a victim of real punishment. There's a time I remember I was in S3 in a chemistry class, and I think the teacher turned behind and we were talking with a colleague, and he asked us to come and put our legs up, then hands down. You know those weird, exactly. Yeah. Those weird punishments. Then he comes and pulls down my shirt. People are laughing. Man, didn't I stand up and because man, I just thought it was too much. It just baffled me. And we were two guys, and the other one was, even now, is a celebrity. I wouldn't mention his name. But everything changed at that point. I thought it was extreme. Like, at PS3, someone is not that. Like, if you want to cane me. But you put your legs up, head down, then you're pulling my trouser, you're pulling my... So we had a big fight, unfortunately, which led into very many unusual circumstances. But we went to DC, discipline and everything. But what I'm trying to show you, this man I told you, this uncle of mine who they had to go somewhere and they beat the teacher. He was asked to carry 2 stones kneeling down. This is a primary kid. Like, which kind of teachers are you? Are you rebels? What kind of punishment? Kneel down, put your hands up, then the kid kneels down the whole lesson. What communication is this? And these punishments are still there. How do you cane someone like,
they even tell you
this is human skin.
You'll be getting 5 every day.
Human skin.
I think that there are teachers that
are you
really
trying to tear the buttocks? Are you peeling meat off someone's butt? Like, what's the intention? Honestly, there are sometimes teachers who go overboard. Now, by the time a kid thinks of murdering you, probably it's been consistent. And then in Uganda we have like a word called orutwe. Like there's some teachers who are finger hungry. They just want to beat. We used to have a teacher who used to slap the hell out of you. But you know what? The weight of a slap, man. Like, there are things that are no longer. Those things are ancient.
And in my
honestly, you slap someone now, you wanna malus, and then you're teething. Like, I'll be honest with you on this show. I've told the teachers who touch my children or whatever that if it's about these bogus punishments, leave the punishing for me. And I've been categorically clear, and I had a very bitter exchange one time. Leave the punishing for me. I pick a kid, I drop them every day, report them to me. If you get to the point where you feel you just want to kill the child, report or give me back my spoiled. Let me deal. Because You go to pick a poor girl. She's crying every day. Teacher pinched me, and now you know these girls are very sensitive. Someone pinches the ear of Molen here. She's a brown girl. She all becomes red. Now you find your daughter all red. Kanyawa come you say, Daddy. Maybe she gets in the car, she starts crying.
And tomorrow you want to bring that same back.
Me I'll carry you with a teacher. Because this is torture. And some of us are not very legal people. We believe in sorting things the man way. Eye for an eye. You pinch the ear, me I go for the jab. Because this is no longer dealing with you as a human being. If your school, and these teachers are very many who have, they call it Logono. They want to beat kids, even when the kid has done nothing. The kid starts fearing to go to school.
It's all about what they have gone through home.
Maybe.
Replicated.
You know, have you ever had a kid in the morning, you're dressing like, I don't want to go, I don't want to go. Like, why? No, I don't want to go. So,
you know, they had a misunderstanding and they are just transferring anger and all that to the
anyway,
children.
Robert, in conclusion, in just a minute.
In conclusion, one, punishment and punishing children is not what we are against. But what is the purpose for this punishment? Is it going to deliver what you intended, or is it going to raise other things? Then also parents, let's make it a habit. Where need be, punish your child. You may find that if this particular case we are talking about, maybe this child punishment of that nature had never happened. So trying to put them right was something that they couldn't tolerate. It would be something else. To the teachers, we believe you're professionals. Study, understand, find ways of communicating with the parents of these children. Please punish with the intentions of disciplining, not causing bodily harm, not causing fear. I've seen some teachers that pride in being feared in the school.
They walk around with sticks.
You walk around with sticks. You come
in a crowd.
Even the way you're moving on the compound, you're creating fear amongst the children.
And by the way,
it doesn't make.
No, honestly, relating to what you're saying, it's.
Me, I'm not even. I will beat you, and you'll tell your mother. Let's be professional. To be honest, like Felix said,
you beat my child does stupid ways.
You
be ready for the same
teacher,
beating.
You're supposed to discipline.
So some of us have a background.
That's why, actually, to be very Ministry of Education and Sports banned what we call corporal punishment in schools. I'll repeat this. Ministry of Education and Sports. Caning is not allowed in schools. That was about a decade ago. So that is illegal, but many schools still do that. So let's be professionals, let's discipline.
Okay.
With attention.
Now, Robert, before I bring in Molen to conclude, I'll just read a lot of messages here coming in from viewers, and I'll start with this one. Now, thank you, GMU crew, for the topic. What can be done right through, of course. Now, the P7 teachers of school in Naria overdo it. My child completed primary 7 with flying colors, but she had to endure a lot. They are very professional teachers, but sometimes they go overboard. Now, Emmanuel, Luboyera Emmanuel from Mubende, thank you for the show. The society we have today portrays the image of families we have. Most parents have no time for their children and entrusted these with the so-called kindergartens. Now, we need to go back to the principles of our grandfathers. Imagine leaving your child in the hands of a house girl who came looking for survival after her future has been tampered with. We should have time for our kids. That's a good one. Now, we also, another one is the way teachers punish our children while at school isn't bad, but I do request they sit with our kids one-on-one and they talk to them as in high talks and boy talks. Okay. Kabi Muzafaru Isabi, that is Ginger. Now, also, good morning, Uganda. I'm Arthur Ogwal Ochol from Hoima City. I think Ugandan parents should adopt grounding children like the whites do it. Whether, I don't know if that will actually work, but okay. Good morning, Uganda. Punishing children is in two ways. There's punishing when you love your kid, and then there's punishing when you already hate.
After DNA.
I don't know about that, Robert, but there's one here. Just I'll read maybe one last one from Molen. Maybe Molen, as I'll give you a minute as you conclude, and I'll read the rest as we also wrap up this session.
Well, I think this whole issue about punishments, we need to really be very, very intentional. Like Robert said, punishment is not bad, but we are questioning how far you would take that. Like you did give an example. Some of those, you're making a student carry all these stones and all that. So I think
you see, we are here talking about it as an example. But if God, they say in Luganda, let me put it that way, if God gets out of you and I find my daughter Molen, and I'm not even joking, by the way, kneeling, carrying stones, I think I'll become
violent. Well, I think we need to do away with stuff like that.
Wherever
and
it's
no coincidence that some of these Ministry of Education did ban some of these punishments. So we need to revive that. And there are lesser punishments that can still make a child. Yes. For example, you used to have scenarios where they will make the student probably
sweep, pick,
like maybe more the compound, the school compound and all that.
He will tell you, go and bring for me 1 million leaves. Mr. Chijambu Fred, wherever you are. This guy had weird ways of punishing.
Yeah, but
so I still think that
funny punishments,
yes,
but no discipline.
I still think that we can find a way to discipline these students with quite things that are okay. For example, even if you were to give them maybe community work around the school
work,
for the entire week, by the time they are done with that, they will have thought about it.
And
then you couple that with
the kitchen to cook with it for 2 weeks. They don't expect you to go back home. No, 2 weeks. You're in the kitchen, you're serving your colleagues lunch, like what was used to do, 2 weeks you're in the kitchen.
And that can work.
Or in the garden. Like you, but you know what it takes for you to be serving portion your colleagues.
Yeah.
The
shame itself will discipline you. The shame itself will discipline you. So that is something that we can also consider.
I've talked about in Ndeji, I don't know if it's there, Fred Chijambu, anyone who went through that school will tell you this man was another character. He would never beat you, but he would tell you, now you have to move around, look for 200 flowers.
Anyway, Robert, also, good morning, family. Punishment is good and relevant to some people. Even the holy books say, spare the child and spare the rod and spoil the child. Now, some children can only feel guilty and confess their mistakes after being punished. But still, there are circumstances where punishing is unnecessary. That is a Derek Gaga mail, quite a long one. And of course, with life experience and as a parent, trust they easily feel guilty and honored at the same time. Well, there's many messages still coming in. But of course, you can still go on our platforms and be able to share some of your true sense. And now, one comes in, good morning, Felix and company. Thanks. If you remember, 25 years ago, it used to be serious beating. Yusufu from Nansana. Indeed, serious beating, but none of us became lame. This time, we have kids. And by the way, have you seen today's kids? Someone is in S1, he's like a leaf. They're small. Have you seen S1 kids?
You put a book behind the things.
Anyway,
funny.
To the teachers out there, sometimes don't overdo it.
Yeah,
honestly and truly.
And by the way, Felix, I think lastly, we need to emphasize the parent-teacher relations in schools. That is very key. Even when you think there is no indiscipline cases, when you go to the school, talk to the teachers, talk to the administration, find out how your child is behaving.
That's
so you can probably minimize it before it goes to an extreme.
And also, parents, be your kids' protectors. Don't be there keeping quiet. I've seen, like, one of the parents here who sent a message that my kid went through, but my child, why do you let kids endure? Talk to the teachers, talk to the administration. Tell them about these things.
However, don't go violent. We do not encourage that. Don't go violent.
Well, no, there are many approaches and many ways to kill a rat. If procedure is going to give you hard time. Yes, GMU does it, honestly.
We condemn it in the strongest terms.
No violence.
If the only remedy is violence,
no.
Don't bring pain to my children. if you don't want violence. I'll be honest, and I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching Good Morning Uganda. We'll take a break, but we will still be back to give you more. Of course, there's going to be a little bit of movies for you to look out for this weekend. Weather updates will be also a bit of sports, who's going where, who's coming where, and of course a bit more of music by the big man earlier who did give us that number, that is Jaren Siren. Let's take a break. We'll be back shortly.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Uganda is rich in natural resources and hard-working people. But to turn these resources into real progress and development, we need to invest in our infrastructure, education, and healthcare. That's where taxes come in. When we pay our taxes, we are investing in our country's future. We are supporting the schools that educate our children, the hospitals that care for our families, and the roads and bridges that connect our communities. And when businesses pay their taxes, they are contributing to the growth and development of Uganda's economy. They are helping to build a stronger, more prosperous nation for us all. So when you pay your taxes, you are investing in the future of Uganda and supporting the progress and development of our nation. Uganda is because of you.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together. Pick of the day on UBC.
If I'm looking at issues of taxation and all that, I will definitely run for the Kateshumbas. Okay? Okay. If I look at, if I'm looking at issues of investments and what, I would definitely run. I would definitely run for Dr. Emure Kugonza and Honorable Omara. Okay. If I'm looking at issues of the law, I will run for our very, very own people. I have the Oboso Bosses, I have the Katuntus, I have the Robin Arapojos. So everyone is talented in one way or another.
Did you mention Katuntu?
Okay. Yes.
Is he yours?
Yes, he is.
Yours as in NRM?
He is.
Was brought to you by
Gatawo with MTN Momo Advance. Momo Advance tops up your Momo to complete your transactions. Dial *165*5*3# to apply. MTN Momo Advance is always available when you need it.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better.
PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. Once again, my name is Jiran Sain. Jiran is J-I-R-A-N. Sain is S-E-Y-N. And I'm a singer-songwriter again. So I'm gonna do 2 more songs of my EP Paint a Picture. And one of the songs is gonna be Say Something. This is a heartbreak song. And also I will be doing Nyabo Sebo. And I hope you guys enjoy it. So let's get into it. This is Say Something.
Zuko shizomu sai munje munze Nebompa fani ndiwulira ebuku mungali nkubanze Inechitanda Mwasiwangalanga nebase oboko butuke misinde Ongamba njo yagala kuba muweka Zengamba nti njagala kuba woli Wekweka masimu kenkuba nfa Just want to know how you doing darling Kubanga nze ngumye Naye sikyasobola kulinda mukwano bambi Nzukusa Ntasa Chine chiroto chitisa Museno jendi Mbosirika Osirika Ntisa Baby Say something Mboba Ngosobola Kusabateka kobuwani Bola beti tufu chendi kowa neno Sijuzabibuzo Nsobola okuyita kebimo Promoting endabe birungi Ongamba ntoyagala kuba muweka Nze ngamba nti njagala kuba woli Wekweka masimu kenkuba nzita I just want to kill this silence darling Kubanga nze ngumye Naye sikyasobola kulinda mukwano bambi Nzukusa ntasa Chine chiroto chitisa Museno mwende Osirika ntisa Baby Say something Osirika ntisa Baby Say something
And this is Nyabo Sebo.
Be my missus, I will be holding you down. I'll be your mister, I'll be holding you down till the end of time. I'm never letting go without a fight till the end of my life. I'm never letting go, don't wanna be alone, no. 'Cause I don't wanna be alone. No, you don't wanna be alone. So be my nyabo, I'll be your sebo, be my, to your mama, let me see your family. I told my papa you'll be my family till the end of this world. I'm never letting go, so give me your hand and let me put a ring on that finger. Baby, let me be the one you snagger when the morning goes. I don't wanna be alone. Oh, you don't wanna be alone. So be my nyabo, be yourself, be my, oh, be my nyabo, be yourself, be my, oh. I don't wanna be alone, babe. It's you don't wanna be alone, babe. 'Cause I don't wanna be alone, baby. You don't wanna be alone, babe. So be my nyabo, be yourself, be my, oh, see, I don't wanna be alone, babe.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or gift.
Get freaky too! Dial *100*0# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100*0#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100*0# to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Amaina gange ninze tusuubira lyaga Margaret. Ndi Munawanyago Tailors Association Sako ey'emyoga. Tuli batunzi ba byalaani. So ife nga Nawanyago Sako twafunako miliyoni 8 era bagiire nga badiiza mpola mpola ate nga bwe bongera n'okusavinga ku era akasente ako katuyambyeku katutola ku wetwali katwongera ku eidaala okusobola okweyamba n'okwesitula mu maka gaife n'okulabirira famire gaife. Era tutwala omukisa guno okwebaza gavumenti yaife eya Muzeeyi Museveni Yoweri Kaguta Tibuwabulwa olw'okutuyamba ife abantu abawansi.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, now casting what is happening over Uganda, we'll be tapping from our satellites. It looks like we did start off with mostly a cold morning across most of the areas, and that is attributed to still the cold southeasterly winds that are coming in mostly from the Indian Ocean towards our country, and that is bringing, those are bringing with them cold weather onto our region. We're still looking at more of the clouds that are developing across the eastern parts of the country, that is spreading across parts of central as well as southwestern parts of Uganda. That is where we're also likely to be having rains for much of today. We're already seeing a few rainy systems that are starting to form up. That is in those deep blue colors right there on the map over midwestern Uganda. Already Hoima, much cloudy over there. We are likely to also have more rains developing over that area. In Mbarara as well, we have more of the clouds that are starting to thicken up, meaning that that will also be bringing us rains over that area. We're also seeing another system again that is developing over Lake Victoria. Now that is also expected to make its way on land, and that will be bringing in mostly rainy weather as well across parts of the Lake Victoria Basin. Otherwise, we're still having mostly cloudy weather over much of the country, and quite a sunny morning for the central part of northern Uganda. We're talking about Kitgum as well as Gulu, Amuru, Atiak, that whole area is having mostly sunny weather for this morning, but we'll be looking ahead at the model forecasts for Friday, and of course as we lead into the weekend, and see what we expect, especially over most places within the country. We will be looking at a continuation in wet weather activities. That is when it comes to parts of northern Uganda. We could be looking at much of that as well. That will be for mostly the Karamoja region. We also look at the central part of northern Uganda, and mostly the model is also indicating a pickup in wet weather activities over the Elgon region. We look at the green colors right there and the deep blue colors. That is indicating at least enhanced rains for those places, and obviously highlighting the northern region and the Karamoja region as well, the eastern part of the country, mostly in the Elgon area. Otherwise, there will be a reduction for much of the country. We're also seeing mostly a sunny day for much of that is western Uganda as well as parts of central. And as we head into Saturday, we start to see again more rains for the Elgon region. That's where we'll be having more rains, quite a reduction for the northern region. Again, we'll have rains, but at least at a smaller intensity. We're also having quite a dry day forecast for southwestern Uganda, along Kabale Highlands as well, where we see the open gray colors right there on the map. That is indicating a sunny day. That is for Saturday across southwestern, also parts of the Rwenzori area. We could be having a reduction. But for the Lake Victoria Basin, most of the areas around Lake Victoria will be having a few rains. That is not in bigger intensity, but at least they are expected to have a few of those showers come through. And as we head into Sunday, we're also looking at, again, quite a reduction for the southwestern part of the country, but now extending also into parts of central. So that means that we could be looking at quite a reduction over there for most of the areas within the central part of the country as well as southwestern. Well, we also will be continuing with rains for the Elgon region. Again, northern Uganda, mostly the central part that is around Gulu, Kitgum. We're also looking at Amuria, that area towards Soroti. We could also be looking at a pickup in wet weather activities, but again, a very small quantity over there. So that is it for the weather. In case you're planning your weekend, you might need to consider some of these conditions, and be sure that you have your plans ready, especially with this weather updates as well, helping in making that decision. But while we talk about weekend, we also bring in a little bit of what you can expect for the weekend, especially if you're a person who loves movies, but also you want to look out for a very good book that you can read this weekend. And that's where we come in. We give you a few tips on what you can look out for this weekend. And while we hit cinema, there is one movie that is highly anticipated, and people are already starting to book tickets to this particular movie. We're talking about Mission Impossible. Well, the story is back, and guess who is back too? Tom Cruise leading the whole movie with a Mission Impossible, yet another movie. The trailer is out and already a lot of cinema places are putting out tickets to be purchased over that movie. Now we're looking at more of a story. Ethan Hunt and the IMF learn they team up and they must track down a terrifying new weapon that threatens all humanity. Now, if it fails into the wrong hands, with control of the future and the fate of the world at stake, a deadly race around the globe begins. Confronted by a mysterious, all-powerful enemy, Ethan is now forced to actually go the extra mile and consider that nothing can matter more than the mission, not even the lives of those he cares about. This guy is all about the mission. We're talking about Tom Cruise. Of course, he's known for movies like Top Gun Maverick, and he has also done all the Mission Impossible movies, right from the one that actually cast in 1986, and then he's back in the one that showed in 2022, and now the one for 2023. He has also been in quite a lot of movies like The Mummy, and of course that's the character we're talking about. Let's go into the trailer.
Our lives are the sum of our choices. And we cannot escape the past. Ethan, this mission of yours is gonna cost you dearly.
The world is changing. Truth is vanishing. War is coming.
It's been a long time, friend. You've no idea the power I represent. It knows your story and how it ends.
Listen to me. The world's coming after you.
His fate is written. Shall we write yours too?
If anything happens to them, there's no place that I won't go to kill you. That is written.
Ethan, what's your objective? What's your ultimate objective?
Your life will always matter more to me than my own.
Well, that is Mission Impossible right there, and obviously, like I mentioned already, we do know that the tickets are out and you can get booking. But also looking at another series that is again hitting the screens this weekend. Actually, this is coming out today. It will be streaming today on Netflix. We are looking at The Outlaws. Now, if you love comedy and you get a mix of adventure right there, this is one that you can actually look out for. Owen Bowen is a straight-laced bank manager about to get the love of his life back, and of course with the bank and everything, the ghost bandits during his that week that he plans on getting married, he believes in future in-laws who just arrived in town, the infamous Outlaws. That's quite a trick right there. Let's get into that trailer.
Dad, just give him a chance.
What does a bank manager do?
I manage all the security. It's the best. Let's just pray we have a nice, chill day.
This is a robbery!
I think your parents robbed my bank.
You can't be serious.
They knew the voice activation code to get in the vault, which I'm pretty sure I told your mom about when I was wasted.
She left me roses by the stairs.
Thank you for your cooperation, Owen.
Does the name the Ghost Bandits mean anything to you?
Most notorious bank robbers in American history.
Your parents stole $5 million from me.
I don't understand. Was Owen right?
This is the story about Billy Joe and Bobby Sue. Here's what happened when they decided to cut loose.
You need $5 million in 2 days. Wouldn't hurt to have a bank manager on the team.
You think you can rob a bank?
If it's to say Parker, hell yeah. Do I look cool?
Yeah, you look like James Bond.
Which one?
5.
Well, that was a good one. Just think of how many terrible decisions we have to make to get to this moment in time.
Well, that is quite enough comedy in that movie, and of course the drama in there. That is streaming today, so obviously you can catch that. But also another movie that is coming out today, that is also a series. The first season is out, and it talks about a story of design wizards dream up space maximizing solutions and indigenous engineering ideas to transform families, homes into inventive ways. That is the movie Hack My Home. Now, I don't know how this works, but this movie has quite enough, this series has quite enough fiction to get you to imagine on how your home could actually look like. We'll get into the trailer and see what to expect from Hack My Home.
Changing. Families are spending more time at home and they're running out of space.
It's non-functioning multifunction right now, but it needs to be functional multifunctional. Yeah.
There is no pantry, no storage space.
A living room is no longer just a living room. It's an office or a bedroom or a classroom, and families are struggling to make it work.
So all four of you all live together like Little House on the Prairie?
Yes.
You need some help.
That's where we come in.
We are reinventing spaces in ways that people would never imagine.
You hacked it for real! I take scribbled down ideas and turn them into a concrete plan. I use physics and robotics to create functional magic.
I love to think outside the box. Creativity is my superpower.
You can dream it and then build it, but I make it look good.
Together, we reinvent the way you live.
Throw in a bit of perspective. Well, that is what we are looking at, especially when you are up to hacking, upgrading your own home into something that could probably be matching what your engineering skills are. Hack My Home. Well, also if you love to get yourself a good read and probably have a book that will get you into a mood of thinking history and look at cultures quite differently, this is a book that you can go for. That is also what we are fronting this weekend. It talks about a little bit of African culture, but also a story that we are talking about the history of some of the Sudanese culture and being brought out by Leila Aborela. That is the river spirit. Now, when it comes to the river spirit, she's giving you a story of what happens in the ancient times. Are we able to preserve that? And that is the story that is also coming out when Akwany and her brother are orphaned in a village raid. They are now taken by a young merchant, Yasin, who promised to care for them and, of course, vows that throughout their lives he will be changing their lives, but apparently that did not get to be the case. Now, Leila is bringing in a lot in this movie, in this book, with a lot of genre, telling unforgettable story of the people who beat it against all odds when they are stuck on a promise that was broken. How do you now get to the top? That is the book that you can catch up on. But also talking about this weekend, something that you should be looking out for, something that you probably should go for this weekend. We will be looking at that is the Kwegonza Avenue. Well, I do have a gentleman here with me who will be probably giving it a better name. I don't know whether my Rutoro accent is good, but probably I need to work on that. We do have Vianney here with us this morning. He is the projects coordinator of this avenue and will be giving us more of what this event is all about. Welcome, Vianney, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so very much. I'm very happy to be here.
Yes.
We're very happy to give you a plot for the weekend.
Yes, now that's a good one. It's a plot. So tell us about this event.
Well, Kwegonza Avenue is basically something that we came up with that is both for the Bunyoro and the Batoro. We were looking at preserving the culture and also promoting our different talents among the youth from Bunyoro and Toro through dance and drama.
Yeah.
And you know, of course, as the Batoro and the Bunyoro, we identify with our empacos, which I can call the praise names.
Yeah.
Yes, so maybe I can also give you one.
Yeah, I like having a pet name.
Yes.
I think it's about time.
Yes, so you can take Adieri.
Adieri, wow.
Yes.
People,
but also
from now on, I'm Adieri.
Yes.
That's my pet name.
So before you take it on, you need we need to do a cultural kind of ritual where you eat kalo, that is millet.
There is a ritual?
Yes.
Okay, maybe I will rethink that if there is a ritual.
I think you should come on Saturday.
Obviously.
That will be the done for you.
Yes, yes. So what can people expect, especially when you talk about you're bringing together Batoro, Bunyoro, but you do know that most of us want to be in such events. What are those traditional things that you're looking at that people should be, should come and catch up with?
No, it's basically cultural identity. We don't mind it. That necessarily doesn't mean that it should be only the Batoro and the Bunyoro, you know.
Yeah.
We are looking at other people coming to identify with our culture, the culture of the Batoro, how people need to learn how the Batoro and the Bunyoro do their thing. For example, how we dress up, you know, some people maybe the women, you know, they dress up in their suka and so on, and also you get to learn the different cultural heritage from Toro and Bunyoro, you know, basically those things, and it's basically having fun.
Yeah.
It's basically having fun, meet and greet, you know, you get to meet your friends, your hobbies, you know, your former girlfriend, your former boyfriend, things like that.
Those usually show up. Those usually show up. But Vianney, while we're at it, we know that you have different activities that are planned for the day. What are some of those activities that you're looking at? What can people expect? Maybe who is going to be there and all that?
We're having so many things going on. We are having artists performing. We're having young talents from the region, from Toro and Bunyoro. Performing. We have culture troops, Ihunde troop will be there. We have Akiki Romeo. I don't know if you've had No Parking.
He's a legend.
Yeah, that's a legend. So Akiki Romeo. We have other different young artists. Then also we have Vinka, the boss manager, as our main act. She'll be there to mash up the event.
Yeah.
And then we also have DJs, young DJs. So basically, we're trying to showcase the talents of the young ones out there, the youth who are up and coming, combining them and joining them with the old who have been there and done it.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's quite a plot. That's quite a plot. I would want to be there. And well, generally, you have this whole theme of, you know, okay, not a theme, but talking about instilling norms in culture into, you know, people. We just talk about this generation, about how we have changed. We always try to kind of, I don't know whether it's called upgrading our cultures, but maybe you would give us your take on that. Don't you think we have kind of gone away from the tradition and we really need some of these events to bring it back?
Oh yeah, you're right. You see, these days we have people going or following the Western culture. We are tending to forget where we come from, and please, you can correct me if I'm wrong. We all know that the Western culture is taking over, but on such events, you have a tent whereby people can go and talk to the elders. You know, the elders try to teach them what they are actually running from.
Yeah.
You see, for example, we shall have those people who give the empacos, for example. We shall have someone, a cultural leader from Bunyoro and Toro, to instill, to educate the youth about our different cultures and how our cultures shape us really. Because this Western culture is really killing it for us. I feel like the youth these days, you see someone cannot even speak their language.
Yeah.
For example, you find someone is in Kampala, they say she's a Munyoro, she's a Mutoro, but they can't even say a word.
They don't even know the culture. I mean, what do they call them? Like the clan they belong to.
The clan you belong to.
Yeah.
So all those educative sects will be there that day. There's a tent you'll walk through. They'll take you through. They'll tell you this and this is a clan. This is what happened. This is their totem. This is their, such things. So please, they should endeavor to come. I really implore all the youth to be there. Everyone who loves Toro, who loves Bunyoro, you should be there. And also, we're inviting even other cultures. You can be Munyankole, you can be Mchiga, you can be Mganda. Please come and, convert with us and we see what we can learn from each other.
Perfect, perfect. That seems like the plan.
Very
and
good
I think it's also something for us to borrow a leaf. I think for everyone who will be attending, then they can actually borrow a leaf and see how some of the things are really put across, how you get to learn some of the things. But as we move to conclude as well, how do we get there? How do we get to the event? How are there tickets? How do we get the tickets? Which avenues are you employing to pass out this information?
Okay, so first and foremost, the event is happening on Saturday, which is tomorrow, at Tuma Showgrounds. Gates are open at midday, you see. So the avenues for getting tickets, you can buy tickets at the gate, or you can also use our FlexiPay. We partnered with Stanbic Bank, so you can use FlexiPay to get an early bird ticket. So the only thing I can say is make way there and just have fun.
Yeah, and by the way, but Toro have some kind of special drink? Do we have a special drink?
Oh yes, we have Tonto.
Tonto is a Toro origin?
Oh yes.
I didn't know. So can we expect some of that there?
Oh yes, pretty sure it's going to be there.
I know a group of people that would want to be there because of that. So definitely do make your way there and of course get to learn, get to, educate yourself and be aware of what some of these cultures are all about, what makes them who they are. And well, that will be quite an interesting one. Thank you so much, Vianney, again, for coming in today. Mpako is at Twoki. Yes, and from me, Adiel, I want to say have a nice weekend and enjoy yourself, get to some of these events. Good morning.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Uganda is rich in natural resources and hard-working people. But to turn these resources into real progress and development, we need to invest in our infrastructure, education, and health care. That's where taxes come in. When we pay our taxes, we are investing in our country's future. We are supporting the schools that educate our children, the hospitals that care for our families, and the roads and bridges that connect our communities. And when businesses pay their taxes, they are contributing to the growth and development of Uganda's economy. They are helping to build a stronger, more prosperous nation for us all. So when you pay your taxes, you are investing in the future of Uganda and supporting the progress and development of our nation. Uganda is because of you.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
These days, our homes are no longer just the places we live. It's where we attend meetings, go to class, keep each other safe, and entertain ourselves. To do this smoothly, you need a reliable internet connection. Buy the MTN WakaNet router, which connects up to 32 devices and get a free 40 GB data bundle at only 149,000 shillings. Or buy the MTN WakaNet MiFi at only 75,000 shillings and enjoy a free 15 GB bundle to stream, study, work, and play on the go. Visit any MTN service center to buy the MTN WakaNet router or MiFi and enjoy the internet that does amazing things.
It's Freaky Friday. Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or gift.
Get freaky too. Dial *100*0# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100*0#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100*0# to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
So it's almost like 2 months and a few weeks old.
Still a baby.
And it has about 7 songs on it. That's my baby EP.
Yeah.
My debut EP.
Oh.
So yeah.
Okay. So what are you going to be doing for us in the now?
Right now, what I'm gonna do a few songs of the EP, but I'm gonna start with Kupatana.
Kupatana.
Yeah, Kupatana.
How have you been?
I've been good.
Your name is hard to mention. I don't know what's the trick. If you're trying to be underground, you're trying to be like, it's better you say it yourself.
Yeah, Jiran Sain. That's me, that's my name.
Awesome.
Sain comes from Sentongo.
Oh.
Yeah.
How does Sentongo become? Seriously.
And actually, yeah, that's my real name. Yeah. In Kiswahili, it means neighbor.
Neighbor.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you also speak Kiswahili?
No, I don't.
Oh.
I just
you only know that's what it means in Swahili. Probably a friend of yours.
I happen to have the name because I'm a Muslim, and it's also a Muslim name.
Ooh.
So yeah.
And today is Friday.
Exactly. I can't wait for Juma.
Surely, I love that. I love that. Anyway, so what do you do? Just briefly before we get into the performance. You do music, you write music, you sing music, you play music. If I have it right.
Yeah.
Great. How many songs have you done so far?
I have an EP out. I recently released it in April. It was the end 28th. So it's almost like 2 months and a few weeks old.
Still a baby.
And it has about 7 songs on it. That's my baby EP.
Yeah.
My debut EP.
Oh.
So yeah.
Okay. So what are you going to be doing for us in the now?
Right now, what I'm gonna do a few songs of the EP, but I'm gonna start with Kupatana.
Kupatana.
Yeah, Kupatana is a simple song. It's a simple love song. It's just like make someone your partner, make them your lover, make them your friend, your
Why
for
are
the
you
rest
guys
of your
thinking
life.
about love?
Yeah.
All the time. Like, what's with this thing called love, man?
Um,
There's weather to sing about.
Exactly.
I'm just saying anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, I can't wait to listen to that beautiful vibe.
Yeah.
I trust. I've had a bit of the music, so I know what it comes with. And of course, our viewers out there, I can't wait to let you enjoy the beautiful sounds of Jerain Sain. Awesome. I'll let you guys enjoy the music. How have you been?
I've been good.
Your name is hard to mention. I don't know what's the trick. If you're trying to be underground, you're trying to be...
Imagination obufana nyimbo kubira wone mboza bambi bwemba ngamba pye okukwesonta. It's your decision mukwano sobola okunyiga omanyi nti nkwagala naye mukwano mubamu emitendera sisobola kubuuka madala wadde nga nandiyagadde okukupatana nga tulira wamu ku sowani mukayumba galangi ya kurimu oba tokyagala onalonda okupatana. Engeri gyontunuulira muno mu maaso efumita mutima gwange mukwano bwe nzijukira kale olunaku lwe nakulaba kale amasanyu ge nafuna ge gano golaba mu maaso nga nkuyimbira kayimba saba nkukwateko omuji wato baby oba ku mukono baba olina ensonyi mukwano kaŋŋume paka lw'olikiriza nze kino kye njagadde okukupatana katulira wamu ku sowani mukayumba galangi ya kurimu bwoba tujagala onalonda okupatana onsula mu kifuba nga omudali olwo nkusiige galangi mu kifaananyi bambigamba nti onalonda okupatana mukwano mubamu emitendera sisobola kubuuka madala wadde nga nandiyagadde okukupatana mukwano mubamu emitendera sisobola kubuuka madala wadde nga nandiyagadde okukupatana. okupatana na 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 okupatana.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or gift.
Get freaky too! Dial *100*0# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100*0#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100*0# to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Uganda is rich in natural resources and hard-working people. But to turn these resources into real progress and development, we need to invest in our infrastructure, education, and healthcare. That's where taxes come in. When we pay our taxes, we are investing in our country's future. We are supporting the schools that educate our children, the hospitals that care for our families, and the roads and bridges that connect our communities. And when businesses pay their taxes, they are contributing to the growth and development of Uganda's economy. They are helping to build a stronger, more prosperous nation for us all. So when you pay your taxes, you are investing in the future of Uganda and supporting the progress and development of our nation. Uganda is because of you.
Uganda Revenue Authority. Developing Uganda together.
This isn't just a girl.
swaza, oh swaza. Nayenga chon swaza. Swaliza dala 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 mukwano. Swaliza dala 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 dala. Hey bon, swaliza dala 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 mukwano. Swaza. Swaliza dala 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 mukwano. Swaliza dala 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 dala. Hey ben, swaliza dala 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 mukwano. Swaza. Swaliza dala 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 mukwano. Swaliza dala 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 dala. Hey bon, swaliza dala 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 mukwano. Swaza. Wacho swaza. On swaza. Mubala bana bobebuuza salawo ekituufu nnema kuba mu bibuuzo nswaza onswaza naye nga lwaki onswaza.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or gift.
Get freaky too. Dial *100*0# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100*0#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100*0# to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Amaina gange ndetubona Kiranda Amina mu company eya WIB Uganda Limited ndi member. Company eno weyeida twalinga tutuli bulungi ng'abakyala abe wakawaka. Ng'abakyala abe wakawaka tuemera ku baami baife nga bonkana abajamu nanda nga twidi nti abakyala tebakozesa ki nanda. UN Women weyeida yatuteekateeka yatwegesa okulunda engege ng'abakyala. Twatandika beno okudulunda n'okudirisa n'okolaki twafunamu ng'abakyala aba Bugiri district. Abakyala ba Bugiri district sofa tuli abakyala 14 abakola project eya WIB. Abakyala 14 twayawula mu sectors. Mulimu abakyala ba production abaliisa, mwaba abakyala ba validation abongera engege omutindo bayongerako omutindo, twaba n'abakyala ba harvesting abaharvestinga, twaba n'abakyala abakola aba marketing. Sector dona diri trained era didi kyedikola ki kyedikola. Project eno tufunyemu ng'abakyala. Government yaife ne ya Uganda njebaza okujja kujanga batulingirira mu ng'abakyala abana Uganda. Eri kujanga eturobingira ebibiina bingi. We have UWEB, baleta parish development model. We have Myoga. Byona biri kwida muki mu bakyala oba mu bantu abaki aba Uganda.
This is the University of Africa. On the streets, you get your real education. Here, everybody has a degree of something. But the most important qualification is imagination. His reason is to be the GOAT. The reason to imagine is to take the beat and make it lit. So no matter what your situation, just use your imagination.
Attention coffee farmers, traders and processors. Uganda Coffee Development Authority has important advice for a successful harvest season. Pick only red farm cherries to achieve good weight and high quality coffee. For natural processing, dry coffee on tarpaulin, concrete or clothing to avoid mold growth. Avoid heaping coffee on the floor. Store coffee in jute bags and in ventilated rooms on wooden pallets. For more information on good harvest practices, visit your nearest extension worker or Uganda Coffee Development Authority offices.
Road
traffic crashes is one of the leading causes of death among young people aged 5 and 29 years. In 2022, Uganda registered 21,473 crashes, out of which 4,534 people died and 15,227 seriously injured. 22 people die every 100 crashes, and on average, we lose 12 people daily. Legacy Road Safety Initiative, in partnership with KCCA, Ministry of Works and Transport, Ministry of Health, Uganda Police Force, Red Cross, Rosaku, Boda Boda Industry Uganda, have organized the second Road Safety Marathon for the crash victims to help create awareness, build cohesion among stakeholders, train first responders at black spots, and support a health facility. The marathon will take place on the 23rd of July 2023, starting at